That's it, though. We're live.
All right.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on.
Hey, I made it through the tryouts.
See, exactly. Right? So, and that's, for folks watching, it's basically we're trying this time. It may be a little bit later.
Okay.
So we're shooting for 4:30. Obviously there's people watching, and so from the live aspect, generally speaking, every Monday, roughly this time, when football season hits, that may have to get adjusted a little bit, but hey, that's like a century away.
Yeah, we could do like a live broadcast of a Monday Night Football game. That'd be pretty exciting.
For us.
I mean, yeah, for me.
For people watching, I'm not paying any attention to what's going on.
We can get some beer, get some peanuts, get some nachos. I don't know, pizza.
We'll set it. Hey, I'm in on the pizza nachos. all the time. Yeah. Dude, so what's been going on, man?
I've been busy. Been very busy. I don't know if, so I changed divisions, went from patrol to criminal investigations. Yeah. So that's.
Are you allowed to talk about that? I don't know what to.
I mean, I can just talk about the change.
Yeah,
so
you went based from nights to days.
So I went from a night shift patrol sergeant to a detective position, and I'm 8 to 4 banker hours, except for call outs.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's I'm back in the land of the living.
Any hazing yet?
Well, my supervisor took a big pile of cases and just dumped it on my desk.
Okay.
So you need to start working on those. So I guess.
Are like the middle 2/3 just blank papers?
No,
just to
trust me.
There's
there's nothing blank in those files. It's a ton of stuff, but I'm excited about it. I'm really excited. I'm enjoying the job so far. So it's a nice change for me.
And then Steph's setting up on her PI stuff. Did I tell you about that?
No,
yeah, so she did all her.
I didn't know.
Pre-classes and all the stuff, and
that's
then
exciting.
Yeah, I was helping her a little bit with that, so she's gung ho, man. Do a little more advanced stuff.
That's
on
good
it
stuff.
And get it going. Yeah, it's just women love to dig. Okay, and she's talented at it. She just has a knack for it, and she is great with law. Like she gets law and liabilities and things, and just innately just has a good grasp of those things. And so you put all that together, somebody who wants to dig, who loves to dig, and has a general good concept of law. Perfect.
Yeah, women love to dig. Especially with social media.
Yeah.
I've found that out a few times. Like,
and we all make it easy.
Such and such date at such and such time, you like this picture. I was like, I did?
You're like, what?
How'd you even find that?
There's no way I was taking a crap on it.
I was like, no.
It's impossible.
I was hacked.
Yeah. I was hacked.
She didn't buy it.
No. Yeah. We'll blame it on the little 2-year-old out there. He hacked it.
Oh,
okay.
man. I need to start letting kids use my phone just so I have that excuse.
Exactly.
No. I'll be good.
Yeah, I'm saying. So so she's cool.
That's really exciting. I'm happy for her. It's gonna be fun. She's gonna come home. She's gonna be talking about all these crazy people she's following. I wonder if it's gonna be like a bunch of she's gonna follow a bunch of people going through divorces and looking for cheating spouses.
And that's the damnedest thing. This is not what I plan to discuss, but this blows my freaking brains out. Right. Other than just having the personal satisfaction of knowing, right? Which usually you already know if your spouse or significant other is cheating.
If you think it's probably true.
Right. More often than not, you already know. But you want tangible, other than just the morbid curiosity of tangible evidence. In the state of Texas, it's a no-fault state. So if they're committing adultery or not, it doesn't matter. Like it holds no bearing in the family courts or in divorces.
But maybe with the kids, I don't know if there's that. I think that doesn't play into the custody.
No.
I've been through a divorce. I should know this.
Yeah.
There's no cheating involved, but
I
did get screwed. But that's another subject.
Welcome to Texas. I was like, we all got that.
Yeah.
But it's I could be a little bit wrong. Because when I went through this, it was years ago when I went through it. But you couldn't even bring it up. Like they're it's so irrelevant.
They didn't care.
Just like, what does that have to do with anything? Unless you did something that created harm, danger, or criminal activity while it was going on. Makes sense?
I mean, the child's welfare is always. I know that's the primary concern of the court.
Yeah.
So unless the child's welfare is in danger, then I guess they figure out the best home, best situation.
So then that's a child welfare safety situation, not an adultery or cheating situation.
Yeah, but and I know we weren't planning on talking about this, but since it just kind of accidentally came up.
Let's get it, man.
How about the levels of child support men have to pay in this country?
Oh, crap. Okay, so let's do a little disclaimer before, right?
Okay.
It takes more than one income to raise a child.
Absolutely.
Fair?
100% true.
So no matter who has the child in any of the situations, if it's mom or dad or split or grandparents or aunts, uncle, whoever it is, it generally takes more than one income to raise a child.
I agree 100%.
Okay, so I'm going to serve as you can put your own disclaimer on if you want. I am not against supporting raising children at some level of financial and time and things of that nature of both parties or all parties, or because it gets all convoluted, of the parties involved taking care of the children and being involved. That's important. The percentages, dude, they stress me out.
Man, so I remember when I went through my divorce and I started getting hit with that child support. At the time, I was not making a lot of money. I was making, I was doing a very average money. Police officers back then I've been a police officer a while. Police officers back then weren't making a whole lot. We were poor, but, it was very middle income type money. And, man, let me tell you, those first few years till I got my feet underneath me, that was hard. There was times I didn't even have gas to go see my kids. And they just lived from Sugar Land to Katy. And I was like, I don't have the gas. This is all the gas tank I got to get to the weekend.
And you got to get through work. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to go to work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure. I know that not everybody, some situations I've found where the mothers have been fair and define
it's actually
fair,
becoming more common.
Where they, okay, that's too much. Give me this much because that lets you have money to take care of the kids and stuff. I didn't have that situation, and it was rough.
It is rough. If you go by percentages, right? So forget travel and distances and kids being played as pawns and all. Take all of that. Just money talk. Just money talk. And forget even if whoever's receiving the money spending it inappropriately or not. Put all of that away because ultimately that's all just people screaming and shit anyway, right? So take it at face value. The payer, it's typically 20% of their income. Okay. Now they get taxed on all of their income. So you get taxed on 100% of your income. 20% of your income after taxes goes to the other party, be it man or female. I'm not going to say dads and moms, right? Because it's just it goes to paying the child. It's 20%. So you've already been hit with roughly 20% tax. Generally speaking, that's kind of average in the country, right? So now 40% of your income's gone.
Yep.
Oh, but wait, you get no write-offs for the children.
Yep.
You're also responsible for up to $900 a month in health insurance.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Which is it's not part of the 20%.
Nope.
And whoever the paying party is also typically responsible for 100% of the travel back and forth for the things, and half of school activities and half of medical expenses outside of
all
the insurance
stuff,
copays and anything that's out of the plan because it gets all weird. What?
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah,
it's hard. But I'll tell you, yes, the guys who've experienced that know exactly what we're talking about. But I'll tell you what makes me which really grind my gears more than anything else. Maybe this is the hater in me, but when I meet a guy and they start complaining about how much child support they make, and then I'll know their job and say their job makes more than I make, and I find out they're paying a third or half of what I'm paying, I'm like, how the hell are you complaining?
Yeah.
That's 3 days of work for you. You're really that concerned about that? You want to see what I'm paying? Get the fuck out of here.
But on paper, because you can negotiate anything off, right?
Yeah.
So you could go to the side, and if dad's supposed to pay mom can be like, dude, really?
The arbitration stuff.
I make a lot more than you. You're in the situation. How about you just give me a couple $100 a month? I got the insurance through work, and it's cool. And that will happen sometimes.
Yeah.
I know 3 or 4 situations that nobody's transferring child support either way. So it's getting better and more balanced. But when you take it by the book of the law, you're asking whoever's paying to live on roughly 35 to 38% of their income.
I don't know how they come up with those numbers, like the 20 to 20. I think it was 21% when I went through it. Cause there was 2.
I just rounded everything.
You're about right. And then I don't know how they came up with those numbers, but man, I thought that it seems like a punishment intended for the men because, or maybe it's supposed to be a deterrent to divorce. I don't know, but like the fact that the man can't even claim it as on his taxes in any form or fashion seems ridiculous to me because you don't even see that money. You never see it.
Right.
And so I don't know.
And so it's you're supporting your children and tuition.
You're
and
doing
things,
the right thing.
All that's going through, but you don't get the write-off. So even if the paying person pays the student tuition for the child, they don't get the write-off. So not only are the 20% gone, you don't get the write-off for anything else that you do.
Yeah.
And the medical expenses, you don't get those write-offs, even though you're paying them. It's insane. I'm like, this is like getting double taxed.
I don't get it.
And that's what I said. I don't want people being pissed off in the sense, oh, well, kids need support. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely, kids need support, which financial is part of that.
Talking about fairness.
Yeah, but fairness. And then when we're going through my stuff is that, you're also required in the state of Texas. I don't know how much is enforced, but we had to come across these things, so it was enforced to some level. Whoever the paying party is also has to maintain a residence that has the proper space and bedrooms as if the child was there all the time, because they can be there longer than 24 hours.
I don't know how. I think probably the mother would have to go to court and have that. There's like procedures for it.
Yeah, but it's a pain in the ass, but that was challenged on ours.
It can be done. I mean, yeah.
So then you got to think, now you have to have a 2 or 3 or 4 bedroom, depending on what the circumstances are.
Yep.
For a few nights a month.
And you're already strapped?
Yeah. And you're already strapped. So you got to this and this. And I'm like, hold on, man. Can we start looking at this? Because there's so much time and money anyway in the family courts. Can't we just look at this case by case?
You would think. I don't know. I guess I don't know. But it sucks.
I
can tell you.
Dude,
now, at this point in my life and where I'm at in my career, financially, it's I've adjusted to it over the years and everything's fine. But and I know that the money goes to the right place. I have an ex that actually takes care of the kids and she actually does a good job raising them. We just have a disagreement about certain things, but as all people. Yeah. But for the situations where the moms aren't or whatever, I can imagine the frustration.
It's bad ones. We had one. I'm gonna share this stuff. It's one of the bad stories. It just isn't super bad, but in the little leagues that we're going through right now, right? So it's one of the teams that we play, and we're playing. And I'm like, oh, dude, they only got 2 outfielders. Well, they have the option to play even if you're undermanned like this. So this team, they lost their asses through the whole season and all these things. And one of the kids, so they only had 10 kids, right? So typically in Little League, machine pitch and T-ball, you can put 4 kids in the outfield, right? They'll let you do that. So one of the kids was gone a lot just because the kid was busy. Too many things on their plate, which happens all the time, piano and lessons and language and all this other kind of stuff. So they couldn't make it and they wound up leaving. Well, the other kid, there's a divorce situation and dad agreed to be he's one of the coaches. And then mom came in and said, under no circumstances will I have this child at the baseball anytime that he is with me. Period. Now the flip is there's no distance. They live like 3 blocks from each other. The 2 households, they're both 2 or 3 miles from the baseball fields, like all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. So we watched this poor team suffer because I was like, why can't this kid play baseball?
Man, that's the problem is that these parents take it to where they forget that they're hurting their own kid. Yeah. They're so busy trying to hurt the other parent or whatever, get their revenge or whatever it is, that they just hurt their own kid or children, whatever it is.
Well, and all the other kids that are playing baseball.
Yeah.
Right? Seriously, because now those kids get their asses beat all season long because they've got 2 outfielders. Yeah. Which it sucks. Yeah.
And that's it.
When kids lose, they know the difference of losing and winning.
Do y'all keep score?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Thank God. Yeah, that epidemic's been going around too. We don't keep score. Kids keep score.
They know.
When my son started playing basketball in when they very first start playing, they don't keep score because they're just barely learning. It's like the next level they keep the score. But let me tell you, he knew exactly how many points they scored at the end. They knew who won or lost. Yeah. Like you can't tell them not to keep score. Yeah. They know.
They know.
Yeah.
And we had a little bit of a I-9 experience, which I-9 is great for what they do, but they don't keep score. Right? And like in the baseball, everybody bats and they don't really bat. And but every kid knew exactly
what he did.
We won. Well, how did they get a trophy for this? And we know. I know. We scored here to here and we did this and they got it the whole season down. I'm like, dude, you got to keep score.
It's okay. It's okay to win and lose. It's a good learning experience. It's good. It teaches you how life is.
It comes down to one thing. It's a game.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Yeah.
There's 2 people involved. Somebody has to lose. Somebody has to win.
Losing's important. It's important to learn how to lose. It's really important to learn how to lose.
Sometimes it's almost more important to learn how to lose.
Absolutely.
Than learn how to win.
If you never lose, you have to learn how to lose. Because you're going to, as you get older, things get, obviously, everybody that's a grown-up knows, things get a lot more competitive. And you're going to lose at a lot of things in life. And if you haven't been taught how to deal with loss, wow, what a handicap. Because you're going to be devastated when that first starts really hitting you. And you're not going to know how to react.
Ooh.
That's a
LeBron James. No, sorry, I had to plug that.
Yeah, I watched that game. Oh, he's coming.
Well, we love the hell out of it, obviously. You know, Celtics fans.
Oh, in Boston. Yeah. I just don't like LeBron. I've heard too many bad stories about him.
It's just, I'm going to say this. Outside of baseball, he does all the right things. He gives a lot of money. He has a lot of charities. Apparently he had the affair, but what basketball player doesn't have the affair? Can we really hold,
just one?
Well, one that we know about, right? You know what I'm saying? But he seems to be a very good dad to his kids. He seems to be there. He does a lot,
Chael Sonnen told a story one time. I don't know, podcast or something.
Oh, I think I remember.
It was a horrible story about how this mother he was at a UFC event, and this mother had a handicapped child, and she brought him up to LeBron because he was a huge fan, and asked LeBron to either sign something or say hi, and LeBron moved the chair out of the way and kept walking. And ever since I've heard that story, I'm assuming it's true. Yeah. And I just hate the guy now. I think if you do that, if there is any part of that story that's true,
that's bad.
You're a horrible human being.
That's bad.
You're a bad human being.
Yeah. And Chael Sonnen is usually pretty good about.
I haven't heard anybody call it bullshit.
Yeah, and he may like expand a little bit on it, but he's not gonna lie about it.
So ever since I heard that story, every time I see LeBron, that's all I think about. That's the only thing I think about, and I just want him to lose. When there was a possibility of a rumor about them saying that he might come here in the after this offseason, I was like, oh, please, no, don't. I can never. I can't. Yeah. I won't even. There's no way I could cheer for the Rockets.
It's hard.
I couldn't. I wouldn't. I would just sit out till he was done.
I have a hard time with Harden.
Oh yeah, he's
and I had a hard time when he was with OKC. So I'm a big Durant fan when he was OKC and watching them and cheering for him. And every time he came in, I'm like, oh.
Some of that. But he's kind of piped it down a little bit.
He's piped it down a lot.
He's been smart. He's marketing. Yeah. And I think if people talk to him and say, hey, man, you have a chance to make a lot of money.
It's going to be fun watching this series.
I'm very excited. Yeah, so where we work out, the dream works out there, right? Yeah. So now that I have to work out with the old people in the morning.
You're going to see him now all the time.
I know. I saw him this morning. Yeah. I see him I see him in there. So his locker was right next to mine. Very excited. So, my first experience watching Dream, I was a little kid. Mm-hmm. And who was he playing? I think he was playing the Celtics. I don't remember. But anyway, so I'm a big Dream fan. So then, of course, through the 90s, through the championship series, everybody remembers those. Yeah. So, okay, anyway. So I get out of the shower, I'm walking back to my locker, and who's sitting right next to my locker? Dream. I'm like,
Hakeem Olajuwon, for people not knowing. Okay.
It's the Dream. You should know. Right, one of the top 50 best basketball players of all time, maybe the greatest center of all time, Wilt Chamberlain. Okay, number 2 greatest center of all time. Yeah. So anyway, Dream's right next to my locker this morning, and so I'm fanboying out, but you got to keep it together. Yeah. 44-year-old man can't act like I'm a 12-year-old kid seeing his childhood idol. So I'm like, should I say something to him? Should I just play it cool? So I get my stuff out, trying to get dressed and stuff, and then I'm just like, oh gosh, the game's tonight. I can say something. So I say, hey, Dream, what do you think about Golden State? Man, he was the nicest guy ever. He's like, and he went into his explanation. He goes, Houston has the home court advantage, and they really can't afford to lose that. They can't make any mistakes against this team. He says, I think they're a little bit better. They're very evenly matched, but Houston has the advantage, and as long as they don't make any mistakes at home, I think they're gonna win the series. And he went into more. Yeah. It was just so weird. Yeah. Like I'm just like, yes sir, yeah, that's awesome. And he's like, well, you have a good day. I was like, yes sir, you too.
And his accent is.
I was
still
so
rough,
fanboyed.
Yeah.
It's rough, but he speaks pretty good.
Yeah.
I was fanboyed out there. I had a buzz all morning from that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
So cool. The rumors are with this stuff, and I goofed with them a couple of times, but had them waiting, so I had to rush out, but. The rumors is basically he's very nice and be careful because 1 minute turns into 30 minutes real quick with him.
He talked more than I expected.
Yeah.
And He was just very nice.
Yeah.
He was very nice.
Like, he gets going and you're stuck. Because apparently...
I had to call my boss. Yeah. I'm talking to Dream. You're going to have to wait. I'll be about 30 minutes late.
Yeah, but that's the whole... Yeah, so...
They call me a liar. You're a liar.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Dream, can I FaceTime? See, boss?
But yeah, so he's awesome.
Yeah, he was really cool. Yeah, he was really cool. I've seen him there a few times before. I never tried to talk to him because I'm never the guy that likes to bug celebrities. I'm not celebrities, but you know what I mean. Like I don't like to. I
always feel like they get bugged all the time. So
yeah, I don't be that other guy that's like, hey, give me attention. But I just like, well, hey, it's a locker room, changing clothes. It's a very relaxed atmosphere. I'll treat him like it's like another guy there. Yeah. It was pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, it was just funny you brought that up. No. Yeah, I'm very excited about Golden State tonight. I'm gonna, I got to train, and when I get done training, I'm just beeline home and catch the rest of that game.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
I don't either.
I think I think the entire series falls on James Harden's attitude. Not how well
if he can not turn over the ball like an idiot. Like he gets in these little funks. Yep. Where all of a sudden he's just like throwing. I don't know what he's doing. Just tossing the ball up. Yeah. And I'm like. But then he gets so hot where he can't miss from anywhere.
They had the 50 or 50-something point quarter the other day.
Yeah, he went nuts. That was crazy. But this is a different team. Although they could do that, but then Golden State may be scoring 51 right behind them. Yeah. So it's going to be a really exciting series. I'm excited about. I think Clint Capella he's the X factor. They don't have anybody they don't have anybody like him on their team. Yeah. And I think that's
is Green on him. Do you know who's?
Yeah. It's going to be. It has to be him. I don't know. He's the only one. Yeah. And
Iguodala maybe for a little bit, but
no, I don't think he doesn't have it. Clint Capella's he's really grown into. He's explosive. He's light on his feet. Yeah. He's turned into a very nice offensive player. I think he's going to be the difference on getting those second chance points.
Yeah, and he talks a little. So if he gets under green skin, then
that's not hard to do. Trouble. Although he's done better this year, but this is going to be an intense series. So we'll see when the points are just when neither team can really separate itself, which I could see that.
Everybody's saying this is for the championship.
That's exactly what Dream said this morning. He goes, "This is for the championship." Yeah, this is what he said.
And, barring injuries and other kind of crazy crap that you can't control.
You're 100% right. But it is. This is the championship game. Yeah. And then whatever happens. Although Boston looks is very young and exciting, but I think they're still very young.
Very young, excited, good defense, but
he's got LeBron lurking.
Yeah, if they get through that one, I think it'll have to go 7. Yeah. They're going to be tired. Not that this one won't go 7, but Golden State and Houston have a lot more quality depth.
Well, they're the two best teams in the league. Yeah. And you got most efficient offenses in the league.
You still got to remember, 2 starting Celtics are out still, right?
With
Hayward and Kyrie.
Yeah, Kyrie.
They're out. So you got to figure.
He's always injured though.
That's like, I mean, take Green and Steph out.
Oh, they're
still a great team.
But Houston will blow through them.
Yeah, you're done.
I think.
So that's what I said. This is for the championship, man.
I'm excited. It's going to be a really fun series.
I want to see 100-point quarter.
I have no doubt that could happen.
That's
the way they run, because they're going to start running, and defense is going. They're not going to have the energy for defense. They're just going to be thinking, "I got to save myself to score," because they're going to score here. If I play my ass off on defense, they're still going to score. So let me save some.
Defense in this series is going to be just an accidental circumstance.
Yeah,
I happen to be in a good place to do something.
Yeah,
so, I did. They're not going to be chasing defense. I don't think.
No, not the perimeter. No. Capella maybe, but because Capella's got that ability. Yeah. But
it's going to be fun, man. That'll be fun. I'm gonna love that.
I'm gonna be super intense tonight. This whole better not watch it go 4-game sweep. I'm gonna be so disappointed.
Either way,
Harden Harden vomits up 12 turnovers a game, and I'm just.
Now I want the Boston one would be fabulous if that won a 4-game sweep. It's not gonna happen.
LeBron is still LeBron. As much as I dislike him, he's still the greatest player right now playing.
Yes,
and he's gonna come back this next game. Yeah.
He needs that bench, man.
Tuesday, you're gonna see a monster, I'm sure, come out because he's physically. Yeah, there's no one like him.
So the stats on it is 5 times he's lost game 1. Mm-hmm. Okay, and he's won every one of those series that he lost game, or that his team lost game.
Not surprised. Is it 4 finals in a row he's been to? Is that what it is?
I was thinking more.
Maybe 5. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like it's
4 or 5 in a row.
It's something unbelievable.
I was thinking 5.
And I'm trying to remember the stat off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But it's something like that. And it's, fucking LeBron James, man. Guy
got it.
It's incredible.
And I'll go on a limb and say I think this year is the least support he has had of any of his teams.
I don't know. I mean, maybe so.
Not by a huge amount.
Yeah.
But I'm watching them like there's more inconsistency. They make a few more mistakes.
As far as the finals team goes, yeah.
In the finals.
Yeah, we'll see if he makes it to the finals.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. So don't tell my wife, because if Boston makes it, I don't see them beating either one of those other teams.
Oh, she's got to know. She knows sports. She's got to know. She's got to know what's happening. That's you see that big old. It's like watching that big old tsunami come in.
Oh.
I
mean, they could definitely win a game or two.
Yeah.
And
it'll happen. Yeah, especially because the Rockets, they'll have their little letdowns. Rockets play down to teams more than anybody else I know.
They do. That is so true.
And then like the fourth quarter, they go, well, it's time to turn it on. Yeah. Okay. And then they'll just start draining threes or just hard.
Well, Minnesota lulled them, man.
They did.
The one where Minnesota beat them pretty big. I'm going to say, after 18-point win.
It was weird. It was weird.
And it was kind of like, I'm watching, I'm like, Minnesota's like making them go to sleep. Like they changed the pace of it and slowed it. And then it was just, and I was like, and then it started making more mistakes. And it looked like Houston felt rushed. And I was just like, wow.
Well, Chris Paul's made a big difference. Like he's that veteran presence that he's huge for them.
And this is his first time in a conference finals.
They got nobody to check Chris Paul. Golden State does not have anybody to check Chris Paul. Chris Paul's going to be a problem. Chris Paul and Capella. I kind of like the Rockets because I think Chris Paul and Capella are a problem.
Yeah.
They don't have anybody to really.
Because I agree with both of those. I still think it comes down to Harden.
Yeah, well, look, Harden has to score.
Yeah.
No question. Harden has to put up 30. But, as long as he's not vomiting up the ball and he's putting up his points, he's driving, he's getting to the foul line. And Chris Paul does what he does, he journals the offense, scores when he needs to, does the things that he does so well. And then you got Capella playing the little X factor.
Yeah. I want somebody on the side here. I wish Steph was in here to look up what is the highest combined points scored in any NBA playoff game. I wonder what it is. Offhand. I know I've looked at it before.
It'd be probably like Lakers and Celtics or something.
And it's got to go way back, But
back when
I think that's going to get crushed. Yeah. One of these games, they're both going to go off.
But if you go back in like the '80s, like hundreds were it was pretty high scoring games were normal, and then it slowed down when they changed up the rules and they started allowing for like all this isolation play.
Yeah.
Then it slowed everything down, and so you just see. I don't remember. They just clear like one side of the court, and then like you'd have your best one-on-one player just try to make a move and go. It was horrible. And then finally they brought back a little bit modified version of the zone, but it was man, I remember that was terrible. You'd have Charles Barkley just banging it in, banging it in. It was the worst basketball for a little while. For a little while,
but it changed back.
Thank God. Now it's exciting. It's run and gun. It's incredible shit. These guys are more talented than anybody else. Like I mean, these guys come out. There's some talented basketball players out there.
My wish for basketball is that they would let them play today like they played in the '80s. A little more rough, a little more.
Yeah,
there's so many times
they put the hand. I think they've kind of let it come back a little more because I remember for a little while it got to where you couldn't even touch an offensive player. Now you're seeing them definitely. They body him up more, and they're allowed to do something. It's funny. So my son loves basketball, and he's a LeBron James fan. Whatever. I buy him his LeBron shoes, and I get it. He's the player. I was a Jordan fan back in the day, so it's the same difference. But so I was telling these guys aren't the first to play like this. I was like, there was Pistol Pete Maravich. And he's like, who? I was like, let me show you some YouTube videos. So I'm trying to look up good YouTube highlights, and he's got a couple. But then I was really watching it, and it's still good. And he's like. It's like he's playing in slow motion. Yeah. Like, that's not that exciting. Now. And then I was going, you're right. It doesn't look like I had in my head. They're flying. Yeah. It's exciting. I think all the athletes, like, across the board are just, they're on another plane right now.
And we have those arguments all the time here, discussions all the time with things and that, let's compare Wilt to anybody, Dr. J to anybody, Jordan to anybody. Stop.
Yeah.
Because you can't.
They're just.
Because if you do, you have to modify your opinion of Jordan, so to speak. Do you need to grab that?
No.
Okay, I'll make sure. I don't know which phone was which. But you have to modify your opinion of Jordan to place him into today's training and science and games and nutrition and all of that stuff. And that's not that, Jordan's not that long ago. And I'm like, even if you took Kobe, who just ended his career, and replaced him, overlapped that with LeBron's era, Kobe would have been better. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you can't, like, to me, it's just like, well, so I'm like,
it's so hard. It's hard to know. But you have your specific guys who are freaks of their time.
Yeah.
You know, Jordan, Will Chamberlain. You go down the list, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're all, you know, genetic freaks. And it continues. But I do think the athletes nowadays are just, I think they're just superior. And I'm sure it has to do with nutrition, special supplements, more concentrated strength and training conditioning programs that are really designed. Because if you look at athletes today, like physically, they just look like freaks compared to athletes 30 years ago. I mean, they just get physical freaks out there, you know. Look at football, look at whatever.
All of it. They're
just bigger, faster, stronger. I mean, it's just fact. So, yeah, you take our the super athletes today, 30 years ago, crush them.
You can't, incomparable. Yeah. Can't do it.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, so one rule change in the NBA. I'm going to get this out to you and see what you think. Two rule changes. Okay. The fake jump, shoulder him in, and then shoot the ball, and you get the fouling shots.
You're talking about...
Take that shit away. Where you fake a jumper, and then while the defender's in the air, you go pump, and then you jump back and shoot it.
So I think that this should be a place where the NBA refs have more discretion. And I think they do have discretion, but they just give it to them. Yeah. So if you get a guy completely out of control with his body and then they jump up into him and take the shot, hey, you got schooled. But yeah, if the guy just jumps straight up
and you go
and jump into him, you initiated that contact. And I think
should be
the
a
rule,
charge.
without reading the rule, I'm pretty sure that the rule states if you, well, I don't know, but it just seems to me that if you initiate the contact in that manner, then either a charge or a no call.
Right.
Or travel if you don't, whatever, whatever the play, however it
That's mine. I'm like, you got it. I hate, that's like, that is my number one hated of all.
Okay, you know what I hate more than anything else? Is flopping.
Oh.
I'm so sick of seeing soccer in the NBA.
They're starting to find them. Didn't they start finding them this year?
They talked about it, but I don't know how much I've seen it actually happen.
They should.
They need to call a foul when it happens.
Yeah.
They should immediately be fucking give the other
seeing
team
guys. This, and then you go back and you look at the slow-mo and they're 6 inches away.
What drives me nuts is when they get the call. Yeah. Like you see a guy, you'll see a 6'4" guy body up a 6'10" barely, and the 6'10" guy goes flying, and you're like, get the fuck out of here. And you're gonna call that?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Yeah. Like this should be automatic. I'm not calling it if you act that stupid.
Right. And some in the ref's defense, some of them due to angles. If there's a ref there and I'm here and I throw my elbow this far away from you and you flop, a ref 10 feet over there is not going to know the difference. They're going to think I hit you.
Well, I think you shouldn't call it if you can't see it.
That's also, I think,
that's my
very
opinion.
true. If you
the flopping, I think it's flopping. They got to. This is not Europe.
So here's my second rule.
Okay.
Rule change. If you are fouled on the shot and the shot goes in, it's a foul, but you don't get a third shot.
No, I disagree with that.
Just get that crap out of here.
And one.
The and one.
It's got to go. No, I love it. I love and one.
You like the and one?
Yes, because it's like it has that intent.
Oh, I hate it.
It's so great because boom, someone gets hit and the foul goes and that ball's still in the air. You're like, it's going to go in. This is an and one. And then it goes in. You're like, and it went in.
Because my thing's like, you're supposed to be fouled for disrupting the shot.
Yeah.
But if it went in, the shot clearly wasn't disrupted.
No, or you're just that good.
Right?
If you're that good physically,
I relate it to like football penalties.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the and one play.
You like the and one?
I think it's very exciting. I would be very upset if they got. That's like getting rid of kickoffs in football. I'd be very upset.
Or let me do it this way. I'll modify that a little bit. Maybe not totally take away the and one, but have some level of time on on the shots that are fouled. For example, if you're driving the lane and you get hit and the whistle goes up and then you throw the ball up behind you, you weren't shooting.
Well, I kind of agree with you on this one because what I don't like is when the continuation. So someone gets fouled and their feet are still on the, let's say they're driving for a layup. Excuse me. And they get fouled and then they take 2 more steps and lay the ball in and they get the and one. They get the continuation. Yeah. It drives me nuts. I'm like, that should not be. That's on the floor. That should have been on the floor.
That definitely bothers me.
So if you want to give them 2 shots and there's no basket, I'm okay with that.
Cool.
Because he was in the process of going to, but not he shouldn't get the continuation.
I don't even know the process. Like, there's got to be.
I don't know.
You got to be actually like, because that in the process of shooting, I watched a layup last night. It was a Celtic that did it. Straight down the lane, and that dog took 4 steps.
Oh, that happens all the time.
Big, long 4 steps.
That's all the time.
Passed to him, grabbed it, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think I dribbled once. That might have been.
It was right. It was towards.
I think I remember watching that because I saw the end of the game. Because I watched the Astros and then I clicked over. The Astros ended, then we clicked over to the end of that game. I think I saw that play because I remember thinking.
Yeah, I'm like, are you?
It's terrible.
Oh, and that's a Celtic. So I mean, I was glad they didn't call the walk, but I was like, dude, that was 4 steps.
That happens.
And there was a ref right in front of him under the basket watching him.
I don't know how they determine that because I know when I played in like junior high, it was, man, you better, if you take, sometimes I was like, I took 2 steps and I'm still getting called for traveling. Man, they were hard on that. They did not play. So I guess they could.
I remember playing Little Leagues basketball, right? I haven't played a couple seasons. But dribbling, and if your hand came up
if you got underneath.
If it came on the side of the ball. Yeah. If you were directly on the side of the ball, traveling.
Now these guys, because they're so thick, these ginormous hands, they're like they're palming the ball when they're like palming it, carrying it around, palming it. I'm like, every once in a while you'll see them calling for palming it. But man, these guys, they got all kinds of little tricks with this ginormous humans.
Yeah, they got the sticky basketballs now.
Yeah,
but they're like got the
they do.
Yeah,
those are fun to play with actually. Yeah. My son schooled me the other day, and which was delightful but painful, because it's delightful that my son is good enough now that he can take me one-on-one. Yeah. Painful that my son is good enough now that he can take me one-on-one. But we've got a new challenge. We're gonna play again pretty soon, and we'll see. I got closer this. Actually, it was the second time he schooled me. I never schooled my dad.
Never.
No, my dad was actually my dad was a college basketball player.
Okay, so
very good.
Maybe different. All right.
That was in the '60s, but I'm telling you, when I've seen him when he was old, had a what do you call it when your foot flops? You get that drop foot. Yeah. Been through 2 heart surgeries, and we go play pickup basketball, and the young guys would come out there. He'd school all of them too. So my dad was legitimately very good basketball player. I had never lived up. My poor dad wanted me to be a professional basketball player.
Hey.
My dad was 6 foot.
Yeah.
Mom's 4'10.5" now. She used to be 4'11". Love you, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. But so my dad was very excited. My mom tells me the story that when I was born, he was like, "Yes, he's gonna play in the NBA." Yeah. And my mom was like, "No, look at me. This is not gonna happen.
Like,
this is not gonna happen." Yeah. But he used to have me. Man, I remember he would have me shooting free throws on the weekends. I mean, doing layup drills, pass drills. Oh, my dad, and it was fun though. He wasn't like a jerk about it. Yeah. I had fun. It was spending time with my dad. We were playing basketball, and it was good times. But yeah, I never got close to beating my dad. But now my son's crushing me. He's really good.
I saw the picture. He looks like he got some of the height.
He's got my dad's. He's already he's as tall as me right now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And he's 14.
Yeah.
So he's for sure he's going to be.
He's got 1 or 2 more spurts in him.
I think he can make 5'10". I'm hoping for it.
Oh, he'll be.
I'm hoping.
He's probably taller than that.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Not that there's anything wrong with being short. But
it's helpful to be right at, give or take a little bit.
It's nice. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't mind a couple more inches, in height.
No, me too.
But it's okay. It's okay. I
do okay. People look at me funny when I wear heels. I don't understand it, man. Platforms. I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to be taller, man.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be like you.
Yeah.
I just want to look you in the eye.
Stop squashing my dreams.
I don't realize how short I am till I see myself in pictures. Because when I'm talking to people, I feel like I'm looking at my level, right?
Yeah.
It feels like
I do that same thing.
And then we'll take a picture. Jiu-jitsu, everybody takes pictures constantly. We're picture whores. And then I'll look and I go, God damn, I'm short. Like I'm at everybody's
playing the angles, man.
Well,
right in front of them a little bit in this, so the picture, and do the whole. So yeah, you got.
I need to do something because, I know.
Look up Tom Cruise. He's the master of it.
Oh man, did you see him bust his ankle on that?
He did because he does his own
stunts.
I saw that. Because I saw the video, and the first time I saw it, I didn't see the second line.
Yeah.
So I was like, this dude just did like
with a
broad jump of like
between
13,
buildings.
14 feet. I'm like, oh,
this guy's bananas.
Damn.
Still bananas.
And I watched it again because sometimes when you do the deal, it's on 720K instead of full HD, right? Whatever. And so it was a little bit. The resolution was a little off the first time I watched it. I saw it again. I saw that second cable, and I was like, okay,
it's still pretty dope.
Still athletic as hell.
It's still at 50 something. Well, he's got to be pushing
50
60
something. 50.
Mid-50s.
I heard 56. But I don't know.
He's doing great, man. I'm not hating on him. I mean, he's got the whole. Gosh, what's that weird Scientology thing going on? Whatever. That's some mess. Banana stuff. But for real. But. Yeah, I saw that. I think I heard it on a Rogan podcast. I was like, man, I gotta look this up. And I saw his ankle crack, but he still finished the stunt and still finished the scene.
Still finished the scene, still finished the stunt. I think that's the one that made it in the movie.
It should.
And then he had to take, obviously he had to take weeks off for it or whatever. But I'm like, damn, great.
He's a gangster. I ain't gonna lie. Acting wise, he's a gangster. I still watch his movies.
Yeah, he's done some crazy shit in his life.
Yeah. I started looking up all this. He did the airplane one, and what was it? That other Mission Impossible, where he literally was strapped to the airplane while it was taking off.
Yeah.
No fucking way I'm doing that. They're saying like a little bit of debris popped off and hit him.
They were lights out. It was something. Somebody said something about if a June bug was flying at him and hit him directly as it was going, it would have been the same thing as a shotgun shell or something along those lines.
Well, that's nuts.
That they were just like basically like all it would take is one.
Think about this.
Beetle.
Yeah, and of course for you, this is probably you've been a similar. I'm not like hanging to a thing, but you've been up and down a lot of aircraft. And done some Halo, all those stuff. But so he goes up and he's attached to the thing. Well, he's attached to the thing until it does this big old ass circle and comes back down and then comes back and land. So it's not. I mean, it's gonna be a few minutes that he's up attached in that crazy. I don't know. No way I'm doing it. I'll bungee jump. I'll even jump out of an airplane. I am not attaching myself like that and just going for a ride.
Going a little drag.
Nope. No. My luck, it'll be like that C-130 that just wrecked. You'll just see a video of it going,
donk.
Actor died today because he's an idiot.
Yeah. He's just carabiner broke. He's gone. You know what I mean? Yeah. But doing your own stunts. Those guys, I appreciate it and I respect it. I think it's silly to do that. But
I think you can do something within reason. But yeah, at some point you got to go, I'm going to let the professional do this.
Because if they get hurt, the movie still goes on. Mm-hmm. If you get hurt.
Well, they're paid to do that. Yeah, I'm surprised they let him. Because that's like a huge investment in that person. That's like
millions that he gets per movie, dude. You gotta.
I don't know. I guess maybe that's part of why he gets paid so much.
Well, no, yeah. Well, maybe they build in that extra time on the back end. Cause you're like, this dude's getting old. He's getting into it.
Yeah.
It's like we'll add a month to the filming. Yeah. Whatever. It doesn't happen. Good.
Yeah.
Get out. Okay, dude. So I gotta hit this. Sorry. UFC 224.
Yes.
Okay. Fun. Got it. Great. I really didn't give two shits about all the results and stuff like that. Yeah. It's fun. I just watched it to watch it. But your girl crush.
So yeah, Mackenzie Dern. So disclaimer: I didn't get to see it. I haven't gotten to see the fights.
Yeah, but we're not even talking about the fights. I could give two. I mean, I'll tell you what she did. But the whole thing was this: 115 was the weigh-in.
Yes.
7.5 pounds over. So it was a catch weight fight. 7.5 pounds over at weigh-ins on 115 pounds.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's not the first time she's missed weight.
3rd out of 7.
Yeah. And
that she's missed weight.
Like, that's a lot. Like, that's not a little. It almost looks like, I don't want to say she didn't try, but it just, like.
That would be like you going into a fight with someone 15 pounds heavier than you.
Yeah.
At weigh-ins. Meaning they're going to get heavier.
Yeah.
She's
a thick girl.
It's actually more than 15 pounds because how much you weigh?
Me?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that right now?
I don't know.
Like 175.
Okay, yeah. So it would be like a 18, 20 pound difference.
Yeah.
And as you scale that up to you.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference.
It would be like if I dieted down just a little bit, me and you going in.
Yeah.
Wait, you'd be like,
that's not fair.
Hold up, dude. Let's just.
Well, especially something like fighting.
Yeah.
So Amanda Cooper, she stays on top of her game pretty good. I don't think she's ever missed weight or anything like that. So, she did her due diligence, met her contract, and Mackenzie Dern didn't. And so, honestly, for me, it sucks because I'm a Mackenzie Dern fan, like jiu-jitsu wise.
Yeah.
We've been watching her for a long time.
Yeah,
her dad's Megaton Diaz, who's pretty much every, jiu-jitsu guy loves Megaton Diaz because he's an old man still kicking the crap out of adult division and black belt. He's amazing. Or he was. I don't think he's doing it anymore. But, so to see, it's really frustrating because I think it makes, honestly, as a jiu-jitsu guy, it makes me feel like, I don't want to say it makes us look bad, but in a kind of a way it does because we were really pumping her up. We're like, because she is she's a legitimate badass.
So
no question.
For folks not knowing, she has about a 70% win rate in her jiu-jitsu, in her grappling. Through her career.
It sounds about right.
Which is very good. It could be 68, it could be 72, whatever. Right about a 70%.
But in jiu-jitsu, that's very good.
That's insane.
Because
and she has over
people lose. Jiu-jitsu people lose. Like you compete a lot, and losing is very normal. And she competes at the very highest level of women. So, and she's a small girl, and that's going to account for not just her weight division, but absolutes, which is all weight divisions. Like Gabby Garcia, who she has fought before. So in jiu-jitsu. So that's a really, really good winning percentage. It's very disappointing. It's very frustrating. I know that a lot of the jiu-jitsu guys I know and online were just crushing her. Like how disrespectful, this, that, and the other. And it is.
And it was her, when she missed weight, it was her attitude. Because all the weigh-ins are televised. And
she put a joke about it on, I think it was Instagram, because my girl, that's my girlfriend's, one of her girl crushes. And she showed me the picture like yesterday. We were driving around. She goes, look, and she made a joke about it with this weight scale. And I thought,
that's what pissed people off.
What are you doing? Like, you should be apologizing to everybody.
You should be ashamed.
Yeah.
And I'm all good for good jokes, but it's kind of like, if you do something wrong, don't joke about that.
She's an interesting person. Like she has this. My understanding is so her dad's Brazilian. Yeah. But she's been raised in Arizona. So, but she speaks with a Portuguese accent. Yeah. She didn't always. Like, if you look at her early videos, she kind of had a little bit of a Valley Girl accent. No. And then suddenly she's got this Portuguese accent. Okay. And, of course, she speaks in Portuguese a lot, which is awesome that she speaks Portuguese. It sounds pretty fluent. I believe she's still dating Buchecha.
So she developed this accent over.
I mean, look.
It appears that she developed this accent
I'm not calling her Madonna. But what I'm saying is her accent has changed a little bit over the years. Yeah. So, there's a little bit of that. She's still pretty young. And so we'll see how I think the UFC wants, because she's a name in jiu-jitsu, and she's legitimately very good. Look, if she can't make 115, fight it next week.
Because she's had 7 fights with UFC. Mm-hmm. This is her 7th.
She had 7 already?
This was her 7th, yeah.
Wow, that happened fast. Because she has not been in the UFC that long.
No, and it was something, a boatload of fights in 6 or 7 months. 3 fights in 6 months.
That's crazy. That is a lot of fights because it doesn't seem like it.
And her debut was not that long ago. It was a lot of fights in 6 months, 6 or 8 months, because I was watching some of the interviews and things.
I didn't realize it was that many.
So she's gone up. She's had 3 or 4 fights in each between straw and flyweight.
Right.
So she's gone up and down on those fights. 3 in one and 4 in the other. I don't remember which was which off the top of my head. Obviously she won them all. She's 7-0. But it was then in the fight, she basically ended it on the one thing I hate the most in MMA and in UFC and this type of a deal, the no look haymaker.
Is that how she won the
fight? You step in and it was a right hand and your head's way over here and that fist is flying over and down and just caught her.
Is that how she finished the fight with it?
She finished with a rear naked choke.
That's what I thought, but she
was gone for a split second.
Okay, so she messed her up with the overhand.
Yeah,
and then finished her with the rear
jumped
naked.
On her.
Okay,
tried a little bit of ground and pound, but then she spun out, slipped in on her, and slipped in the choke. I was like, oh.
Well, you know what? Amanda,
I don't hate her for it.
Hey, Amanda, keep your hands up.
Yeah,
keep your chin down, hands up.
Part of it is I'm kind of like, how do people get hit with these haymakers? Because it happens a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
You gotta watch the clip. And
I am. I've been so busy with this.
We'll pull it up because I had it, and then I was like, I can't show that. I can't show. Damn it, I can't show that.
Yeah.
You know, he's UFC rights and all that kind of nonsense. But that huge step with that left foot. I mean, it was so telegraphed way and over. I mean, she scraped a little bit of the moon when coming around with it. I mean, it was bad.
the bottom because she's pretty short.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Lisa, that's my girlfriend. She's a huge fan of Mackenzie. In fact, last year I was telling you this when we were at Worlds, and Mackenzie still. I don't know if she's competing too much in jiu-jitsu right now, but she's still there.
Yeah.
She's at a lot of the big tournaments, and when so everybody's in the stands, and everybody's there, so it's not like that big a deal. But she's sitting up there in the stands watching, and Lisa catches. This was she's only been training jiu-jitsu about 2 years, but she's very good, Lisa. Yeah. So she's really getting into it now. Like she's just in that phase where she's just gobbling everything up. And so she saw Mackenzie Dern, and she goes, "Mackenzie Dern's right there." I go, "Yeah." She goes, "It's Mackenzie Dern." I go, "Go take a picture with her." "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, like it's okay. It's like no big deal." So she walks over there, kind of like me with Dream, right?
Yeah.
So she walks over there. She goes, "Hi, Mackenzie, can I take a picture with you?" And of course she's like, "Of course," But what's funny is, so Lisa's not tall, and you've seen her, she's real fit and all that, and but she was a lot taller than Mackenzie. So Mackenzie's a short girl.
She's like 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah, I think she's like 5 on the 5'2" side, but she's very thick. She's a
Yeah.
thick girl, which you can see in the pictures. But in person, you can see she doesn't look out of shape. She's
No, she's
fit.
just thick.
She's just thick. So maybe Mackenzie should, if that's your size, if that's your natural size, and you just can't do it, move up to the weight class above you. Let's see you fight. Let's see you fight.
Yeah, the post-fight stuff and some of the chatter is basically she's not necessarily going to be welcome in strawweight anymore.
So fight the weight class. I want to see you fight. I think she's very talented. Obviously, grappling-wise, very few people in MMA. I think very few people. It's when you get to someone who is that high level, say jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But we'll just take any Muay Thai or wrestling, right? Say Ben Askren.
Yeah. Yeah.
And wrestling, or whatever. Name the guy in Muay Thai. I'm not as knowledgeable about Muay Thai, but like they're specialists and they're just that elite in their what they do. I want to see them in the UFC. I want to see how that works. I want to see how well it translates. How well people can deal with it. Is there an answer for it? I want to see. That's like their point of the UFC, right?
Yeah.
So please, Mackenzie, get your shit together.
Exactly.
I want to see your talents.
Yes.
In the UFC, I want to see it. I want to see you against the best and see how it works out. You got a few that make it, like Jacare, although he lost.
Yeah, but he's.
I think it was a split decision from what I saw.
Yeah, it was. What was it like? It
was Kelly Gastelum, right?
Fight? I'm trying to think. He's got.
He's been fighting forever.
I know it's
one of my favorite jiu-jitsu guys. Yeah. He's one of the he's elite level.
It was. I gotta double check because I think it was a split decision.
I'm almost positive it was because I saw it and I was like, he lost. Because I love Jacare. I mean, he's everybody. All jiu-jitsu guys do. But you got some that don't make it. Like my all-time favorite grappler is Marcelo Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to venture into MMA, and for some reason, it just didn't quite translate.
He couldn't get the striking game. Yeah, and he got barraged with leg kicks on the last fight that I remember I saw him in. He just got destroyed on the base, like had to quit.
Yeah,
so the leg kicks, he had to quit.
It's such a bummer because his jiu-jitsu is, unreal.
Yeah, but you gotta get in on him.
Yeah. Well, he's a small guy too.
Yeah,
and he's built real thick. He's got that, but yeah. So some guys, some guys, their specialties, they're so good, but it just doesn't quite. They can't make it the transition. Yeah. But they're like Mackenzie can. Like we've seen her do it, so she's capable of doing it. I want to see her do it.
Yeah.
I just fuck.
And I'm not trying to kill her. She has the weight to lose.
She does have the weight to lose.
She has enough fat on her.
I mean, clearly
to drop those. She could drop a few pounds and
it's a discipline issue.
Yeah.
She's young.
Yeah.
Like, look, it's a discipline issue. Yeah. There's no question. But if you're not disciplined enough for that weight division, then move up.
Yeah, exactly.
Fight. There's guys that do that. Just do it
all the time.
Yeah.
So one of the stupid facts of the UFC. So in the prelims, this is the first time I think ever all prelim fights that were on the FS1 ended in the first round.
Oh, really?
I was.
They didn't know what to do with themselves.
It's just so it's just filler.
There's nothing to filler other than prelims.
At that point, you're just kind of like, because you're kind of set up for a couple.
Yeah.
But it's usually if there's 5 prelim fights, at least 2 are going the distance.
Yeah.
Right? And the other ones are going the
prelim fights go the distance.
Yeah, most go the distance, but at least 2, probably 3 of the 5 are going the distance. And this one, all 5, first.
Man, I can't believe I missed those. I actually went over to my brother's to watch, and then we started sitting outside talking. It was such a nice night.
Yeah.
We never made it into the house to watch the prelims.
Yeah.
But Joe, it's funny you said it because we did at one point, and I remember they were just talking. I was like, it's like 30 minutes left.
Yeah, because everybody's kicking them like,
yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. I kind of wanted to see. I mean, I wanted to watch. I don't watch so many UFC fights.
Yeah. Well, there's another one, another free one this weekend.
Fight night.
Yeah, fight night. Yeah.
Who's on the card?
I just saw it was.
I have to look that up. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch that. As long as it doesn't interfere with.
I wish they had more free ones, man.
They were doing quite a few for a while. And
they kind of backed off. Lomachenko just fought.
Yes,
the fastest guy to get 3 belts ever.
I saw the highlights on that. That looked like that was an incredible fight.
That was a cool ass fight.
That did
because he got
knocked down
in the 6th,
something like that,
5th or 6th round.
But then he just beat the dude down by the end of the fight.
Yeah, just did it.
What was the other guy's name?
I just went blank as you were saying.
Yeah, I was thinking. I was trying to remember it
because I didn't know. This is. Boxing fans kick my ass, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it was coming on. I thought it was in June. I really did. I thought it was in June. So I'm sitting there flipping. I'm like, oh, crap. And it was the second round. I think first or second round. Into the first, going in the second. It was on. I was like, awesome. We're going to watch it, And, Coy was in there with me, and I'm trying to explain who Lomachenko is and the whole shebang. And 12 fights. I think it was 12 fights. Maybe this was his 13th. 12 or 13 fights to win 3 world championship divisions, the fastest ever.
Oh,
the next fastest was, I think it was Mayweather. Mayweather or Pacquiao, because one was 22 and one was 24.
He's so much more fun to watch, though, than Mayweather. I mean, they get in there, they mix it up. They get in there, mix it up. They're hitting, they're striking. He takes risks.
Yeah.
It's so much more exciting.
And don't take that as disrespect to the style of Mayweather, because I get that it's a style, it's a method. It clearly is successful
absolutely.
It's boring.
It's not that fun to watch.
Yeah.
But Lomachenko. I saw the highlights on ESPN, and I was like, wow. Looked like it was
and that liver shot was quick.
Yes, that knocked him.
It was a 4-punch combo. 2 were in the liver, and it.
I don't think people can appreciate how hard
half.
Those guys hit, because it doesn't look like much, but man, they're coming in with just torque.
Now with super slow mo. You see it, and you can see all the ripples. And the ripples didn't end before the second one hit again.
Yeah.
You got him.
Man.
Dude. That was,
That's body damage. That was pretty exciting. Yeah, I have to.
And it was, I went blank on his name, but
he was holding his own for a while.
The champ that had lost, he said that he thought he could have continued, but he maybe didn't want to. Was sort of how the translation came. He was like, I probably could have continued because the ref stopped it. And because he got up,
those liver shots are.
He was like, I probably could have continued, but maybe I didn't want to.
I don't see too many people recover from liver shots.
No.
That's usually
you're toast, man.
All this poisons just get.
Yeah, everything's wrong.
Yeah,
man. It's all wrong.
Yeah, Lomachenko. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I wish they would have more free fights.
Yeah.
They got plenty of talented fighters. They can put them on. So
that's what I'm saying.
And every once in a while drop. I know they're trying to make money off the pay-per-views, but every once in a while drop a big, and they do that a little bit more. But drop some big names in there.
Yeah.
And on a fight night, and people want to watch. Yeah, keep
or
selling.
Maybe don't make the pay-per-views $80 or $74.99 or whatever the hell.
I think it's like 60 or something.
Well, it depends. They range a little bit, but
yeah.
This one I think was 69.
Yeah, 69.
I think it was 69
for Nunez Pennington.
Yeah, $64.99 or $69.99.
That's too much.
That's for HD.
And that's too much.
Come on, man.
Not for them. You have to put something like a super fight with GSP versus Tyrone Woodley or something. Then I'd be okay. $69. Yeah, you got it.
Well, I remember back when pay-per-views were like $30 to $40.
Yeah,
and that's cool.
Yeah,
because you got to think $30-$40. You're gonna get some pizza, wings, beer, whatever you're gonna do.
It's a night. You make a night of it.
It's a respectful. Now, when you're like, okay, basically, by the time I do all this shit, I get the things. Basically, $100 just to get the thing.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm like,
well, you got to go with friends now. It's like, hey, let's get a couple people over. We'll buy it together.
You guys get the food. You guys get this with it, and you split it all up. Which I'm not against.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, man, that's
as long as they keep making money, they're gonna keep bumping it till they hit that ceiling, and then they'll probably bring it down a little bit. But as long as they keep making money with it, they'll keep pushing it.
Yeah.
So it's all about in the end. So.
But they're giving better free ones.
Yeah, Freeman's.
So we're getting there.
They still give those, and then of course I like watching the Ultimate Fighter series. I think it's pretty fun to watch.
I need to. I have them all recorded. I haven't watched any yet.
It's pretty good, man. They got some exciting fighters on there.
Yeah.
They're all pretty so far, except for one. They've all been pretty evenly matched.
Yeah. And what I'd seen is there's really, of all of them, there was only kind of one asshole.
Yeah, the I think his name is Delani.
I don't know.
He's playing the asshole though. Like he's playing that role. He's trying to be the bad guy on the show and get the camera time and stuff like that.
Not a bad move.
That's my opinion of what he's trying to do. He hasn't actually gotten that much camera time yet. Oh, okay. But he hasn't fought yet.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. But Stipe and Daniel Cormier, they're really cool. They're I really like them, like both of them a lot.
They love the sport.
They're good guys, and they're fun. They're having fun with each other through the show, and it's just two good guys that are DC's a really good coach.
Yeah.
Like watching him, he's a very good coach. I'm not sure if Stipe's that great of a coach, but he cares. And they're having fun, and they poke and prod each other a little bit, but it's not over the top with the nastiness the way some of the other coaches have been. In fact, there's no nastiness. It's just fucking with each other.
They're respectful. They're good.
Yeah. You know? This is going to be a fun fight to watch.
Yeah, no.
That's exciting that they're having that fight. I'm very excited about that.
I'm like, oh.
I don't know.
Are they doing it on a separate night or a separate event or something?
Oh, they will for sure. See, that's a pay-per-view I'll pay for.
Yeah.
That's a pay-per-view I'll pay $69 for. Well, I'm split.
I'll split. Yeah, you go split it somebody.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Split it over here. Come on,
that'll be fun because
the big one.
DNC is not your average light heavyweight.
No.
He's a big guy.
Yeah,
and he's got that wrestling pedigree. And Stipe that's kind of been his thing. He out wrestles people.
Yeah,
but man, I don't know. We'll see. Now we're gonna see this. I don't know because Stipe's very good. Like, he's legitimately one of the best heavyweights they've ever had.
Yeah,
maybe the best. And so we're going to see how that pans out.
That's the way I'll be.
Because I think he's kind of had wrestling advantage on some people. It seems like.
Yes.
And
I don't want to. It's hard. Wrestling, yes, not grappling. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I don't mean like the wrestling advantage he's had an advantage of.
Yeah, that was me.
And he won't have that with DNC.
No.
Or with DC.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking politics.
Yeah.
He won't have that with Cormier. So.
It's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that fight. Yeah. That's definitely one to look for. I'll be watching that one for sure.
So, sports gambling. So I got to bring that up. So, Supreme Court says today, they do the ruling opinion, however you want to verbalize it, whatever that is, that now it's all gambling, sports gambling is left at the state level.
Yeah, it's a good move.
I think it's a good move. The NFL seems pissed off about it.
Why? That's like the way they make the most money is through gambling. That's how most people watch.
I think what happens is, I could be off a little bit on this. Okay. Yeah. So people can hit me on some level of ignorance on this because this just went, so I haven't done a boatload of research on it, right?
Yeah.
I think the NFL they make a little bit of money off of the top of betting agencies in Vegas and things of that nature.
For sure.
So now with it, every state, they would have to make an independent agreement with every state.
But they will.
I think they will.
NFL is still going to make they'll probably make more.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to get more.
They'll make more money.
I was talking to Steph, and I'm like, okay, so when you look at law and things of that nature, right? If a betting agency is using the sports team's name and their logo and likeness and all this kind of stuff to generate income, gross revenue, you got to pay fees.
Yeah.
So they're gonna
clean up. NFL has it on lockdown. They have their logo. They have you can't even say Super Bowl on the air.
Pretty much, and they want to hey,
you have to pay royalties if you say Super Bowl. These radio stations are like the big game.
Yeah.
I'm like, how retarded is this that you can't even? It's the Super Bowl.
Why can't you say it?
Now, I can't believe they even get away with being able to sue people for that. Yeah. But let me tell you, it must be legit because nobody crosses that line. Yeah. I don't ever hear anybody cross that line.
It's insane.
They have that shit on lockdown. They're gonna make tons of money no matter what. I think it's a good move. I think the government needs to start getting out of people's fucking business.
Yes.
Let them gamble their money away if they want to. That's their personal fucking choice. Let them, smoke weed. Let them do whatever the stupid shit they want to do. It's their personal choice. Let the states decide. Yeah. Let states decide. It should be all locally run. Our federal government is too large.
Let's tax it so we can get that revenue.
Obviously. Well, no, let states handle it. Let states handle their business. Let people that live in those states and those communities decide what's acceptable for their communities.
Well, then what the hell are we going to do with California? I mean, my saws are only like 24 inches long. It's not deep enough to cut it off.
Hawaii's melting into the ocean right now, so maybe California's next. I don't know. Maybe it's natural selection. Maybe it's Darwin's theory in full effect. The Earth is just saying, you know what? We'll take care of all this for you.
I'm like, can't it attack parts of California instead of Hawaii, man? Come on.
Well, look, they're going to take care of all the meth heads in Hawaii.
Yeah.
A ton of meth in there, and liberals will just slide right into the ocean. I'm just kidding.
We're teasing.
I have lots of friends in California, so I'm totally kidding. But yeah, I don't know. Like California's such a mess. But they're getting a lot of people that are fighting back. A lot of local communities are fighting back against their state government.
Yeah.
It's not wanting to be part of this.
The sanctuary stuff.
Sanctuary cities and sanctuary. Like you're seeing a lot of communities fight back against it. So California's kind of interesting. I wonder at what point it goes so far, like the spectrum, that it bounces back for a state.
We're there. The bounce back, the pendulum has already swung as far as it can.
It just seems like it.
And so I think it started to come back. I don't need details, okay, so I know the title of it. But I think it was in San Francisco. San Francisco or San Diego, one of the two, a sanctuary town for gun owners.
I believe it.
Now, there were other ones in other states, but there was one in California. I was like, what? To where they're like, as long as you follow the rules to acquire it, that we're not enforcing magazine limits, and we're not enforcing this kind of stuff. Bullshit. And it's basically, as long as you're not a felon, and you have the basic
common sense laws.
I was like, yes. Now that's all the details I have, but
yeah. Well, I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see him do it because someone's going to challenge it.
Yeah.
And of course, in their little, was it the Ninth Circuit?
Yeah.
That's California. Of course, they'll uphold whatever California challenges. Yeah. But when it goes up to the next level, that's where we see the true ruling.
Exactly.
And what did I see the other day? Jump into the Supreme Court, where one of the senators, I can't remember who it was basically calling for Kennedy to go ahead and, hey, if you're going to step down, let's do it right now before the elections, because after the elections, we don't know that we got control of the House of Representatives. So we may not be able to you know what I mean?
It's
all. And I was like, that is so weird. Like that's so weird that we're at that point that senators are begging them, hey, do it now, please.
Like but if you're going to.
Do it. Let's just do it now. But what does he want? Like, what's he thinking? In his mind. Because you never really know what these Supreme Court justices are thinking. Like, you think maybe like Clarence Thomas or someone. They're pretty obvious, but a
lot of times they're right here, and they're kind of like.
Like when Obamacare, when Chief Justice, what's his name? Because he was a Republican appointee.
Yeah.
And when he came down on, for Obamacare being legal,
being
constitutional, I was in shock. Yeah. I was like, what pictures do they have of this guy floating around? Because that didn't make any sense with his normal thought patterns. Or maybe we just don't know the guy like we think we do.
Well, and what's presented and what are they reviewing? And this is part of the deal with almost every Supreme Court justice that has seated for the last 20 plus years that I've been deep into this. They're all universally great at following how they're supposed to develop their opinion. They don't go to media. They don't go outside what's presented.
Right.
They say, here's the laws, here's statutes. What did you present? What did you present? And they develop. They're really good about isolating themselves on that.
Right.
I don't know that that's the best thing to do all the time.
Right.
That's their job.
Yeah.
And they're really good at that.
Yeah.
So something could have been presented, and again, he's not going to go outside the scope.
Yeah.
And so that's one that in his defense.
I don't know how that works. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe that makes a little sense. I wonder if he regrets it. Like, what if he looks afterwards? I mean, they gotta have all the info.
Probably.
Though.
I don't know, man. That's a hard one. Because even me, it's like you ask me, it's like, okay, well, is it constitutional to force citizens to purchase health care?
It seems common sense that it would be no.
My gut is no, but then when you start getting into it, but we force people to get car insurance.
No,
and it's different.
Only
it is
if
different.
you purchase a car,
right?
So you're not forced. They're not required.
You're a driver. If you're a driver, you have to be insured.
No, the state of Texas is a vehicle insurance state.
Yes.
So the vehicle has to be insured, not the person.
Some of the states are different, right?
Basically, unless you are driving a vehicle or choose to drive a vehicle, own a vehicle,
you don't get hit on it, right?
You know what I'm saying? So it's still voluntary. It's just a requirement for owning a vehicle.
Yeah.
Just like you have to pay registration and stuff like that. I think that's why that's. I don't know. I mean, the whole Obamacare debate, but
I'm not getting. But because obviously, I mean, on a personal level, I disagree with it because you can see. I don't want the government doing any of that shit. It just goes to hell.
Well, like we say, get the fuck out of everybody's lives.
Right. Stop.
Out of marriage, out of all this social engineering and moral and morality that you're trying to enforce on people. Let people choose how they want to live their life, as long as they live within as long as they live in respectful constraints around people and are respectful of people and don't violate, people's constitutional rights and things of that nature, let them be. I don't know why. I don't know how our government got to the point where they're just so involved in everything. Like, it just isn't. I don't understand it. It was not how it was intended.
No, it's not how it was intended, and I think it's. I'm gonna. I think it started. I think the first step was during the Industrial Revolution, because a lot of things needed. The federal government had to start stepping in, people slave labor and all this other kind of bullshit that was going on. I think that was the first step. The second step, I think, was right around towards the end of Carter and beginning of Reagan.
I would go one. I think before that, I would say FDR. I think FDR had
you think
with the Depression and creating Social Security.
Yeah. Because
that
the creation
was
of Social Security was
a
a big
intrusive
one. That's
thing.
true.
I think that might have been like the. That's when we were stuck, like that Social Security issue.
And we almost. We'll take that one and went through the Industrial Revolution and all that kind of stuff. Take those two, and as a country, I think we needed them
at the time.
But then I think what happened is the people in government, that's when it started to transition, that they became career politicians.
Yeah.
And then the second they become career politicians, they're not going to give back money. No. They're not going to sign away money. They're not going to sign away programs. Because now it's not about the best. It's about how can I stay here forever.
Oh, yeah. It's now it's my career.
Right. And so, and I'm not even going to pretend like anybody's going to levy term limits because they're not going to vote that onto themselves. So
it'd be great if they did, but
they're not.
No.
Not for the next 50 years anyway.
No, not until there's something major happens, and maybe there's a breakdown in our government. Right. I saw someone predict one time, and I thought this might be the best predictor, is that eventually you'll see the United States break down, and not in the way you think, but it'll break down into regions, and so we'll still be more of a confederation, but you'll say you'll have regions.
Yeah.
Say the Southwest region. You'll have the Pacific Northwest region. Yeah. You'll have the Midwest to Central. You'll have the East Coast region. You have the Southeast. You'll have like 4 or 5 regions of the country, which kind of break into their own confederations and kind of run things, but they're their own separate way of doing things. But then there was kind of loosely.
They're tied effectively by the dollar in the federal government.
Right, something of that nature. And I don't. It was some futurist.
Dollar in defense is effectively kind of what I'm saying, but
yeah. It was some futurist. You have these futurists that predict what could happen in the future.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, that actually kind of makes. I could totally see that happening with the way that you look at the way the country's breaking down now. We're becoming so polarized.
Yeah.
It's where you can't even discuss honest. You can't have honest discussions.
Yeah.
There's very few people who do have honest discussions are immediately labeled as some type of hateful alt-right or whatever the term is, and it's people who are even liberal, but they have honest discussions. They have they want honest discussions. They just have a different mindset on things. Your Jordan Petersons, your Sam Harris's, your people like that, right? Those two people, very different on the political spectrum, but they're very honest. They have very honest discussions about things, and but they're both considered in the same category, and they're very different ideologically. Very different, but they have honest discussions. They can sit down with each other and have extremely honest discussion, disagree on everything, and still be friends at the end of it.
Yeah,
but
and they are.
But somehow our normal, you can't do it now. It's like immediately anything that I think, and I really believe it's more on the left than the right, is immediately everybody's just put into this pigeonhole of, well, you're a hateful racist.
Yeah.
Because you disagree with me on anything.
Well, it goes, and I'm going to say this, and people will be all pissed because it's generalizing. I feel like from my personal experiences, because I deal a lot with people who would be classified as liberals, from middle to extreme, and middle to extreme conservatives. So I deal with the full spectrum of things. Generally speaking, conservatives across the board will give you a chance or two for the discussion. Right. And then they're off the deep end. Right. Okay. Then they're fucking gone. Just as bad as an extreme liberal. Typically, generally across the liberal spectrum, they don't give you that chance for the discussion. Right. More often than not. Yeah. So it's instantly, hey, you know what? Trump being involved in North Korea and getting this stuff going on, that's a big deal. Yeah. Oh, he didn't do anything. But hey, both leaders of North and South Korea said he played a major role. No, that's just a bunch of crap. Well, and so you don't even get that discussion to where if you flip that and there's a conservative side, a liberal comes in and is like, oh, well, President Trump's not doing shit in Korea and it's a bunch of crap. Typically, the conservatives will be like, well, what do you mean? Yeah. Well, tell me more. And then when they see if they're nuts or not, then then the conservatives just as bad as the crazy liberals.
Well, I will say that I do agree that both sides get locked into playing teams. Yeah. Which I've never understood that. But you get locked into playing teams. Well, my team believes this on these issues. So I'm just going to, if you disagree with anything of that, then I'm not listening to you, and vice versa. But I just feel like right now, I just feel like the condition of the country is anybody who, it just seems like on the left, it's immediately being laid, and it's always kind of been there, but it just seems like anybody who disagrees with them is immediately being blamed as racist or hateful or something to shut them up. And I don't see that on the right. I see the right saying
it's not as bad it's there on the right. I
don't know.
It's just not as bad.
I feel like it's not name calling. I don't feel like it's you're a racist and you're hateful.
No, they get libtard.
Yes, you get called you're a libtard. You're what is it? Liberalism is a mental disease or whatever they say. Little stuff like that. But come on, that's soft compared to me.
You're not calling them a racist and Nazi or fascist.
Those are like huge, buzzwords where you are to be outcasted from society. Yeah. Versus you think like an idiot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, it goes into typically, again, big blanket statements. Right. Liberals are emotional, conservatives are logical. Yeah. Not that conservatives can't be empathetic and compassionate and things of that nature and vice versa. Not that liberals can't be logical. Please give me a break. Generally speaking, that's how the parties work. Right. And over time, this is stuff that I had been told as far back as I remember, so 3-4 years old. They're all the same. Republicans are going to tell you what they're going to take. And Democrats are just going to take it out of your back pocket and make you feel good about it. That's what I was always told. The same amount of money and they're both taking the exact same thing from you. Yeah. That's just typically how they work.
I kind of agree with that.
Right? So you just kind of get in and you're just like, and then emphatically, I am not afraid to say, hey, I'm totally ignorant to this. So here's what I think and here's what I've learned. What do you know? Because you know more than me. Right. If I say, hey, you're being completely ignorant with this. You're totally ignorant with this situation or this matter. Let me give you some more information so you can come at this a little better, and then let's talk again. Right. Now I'm a hateful bastard because I said they're ignorant. Yeah. I'm like, can you open Webster's for a second? You turd ass. I'm like, seriously? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's gotcha. It's playing gotcha. Well, you said something that I can twist and make you look like a horrible person. It's like having an argument with an 8-year-old.
And I had a family deal, same thing. It's like, dude, legal crap that we're very accustomed to and very well versed in, and lots of attorney fins and been through a lot of legal shit and done a ton ourselves and represented myself in court several days. Anyway, very experienced in it. Right. Within my family, you're all higher than thou, higher and mightier than thou, and what do you know? You're not on the bar. You did. Oh fuck, dude! I'm just trying to save the money, the family, like 10,000, 15,000 grand, dude. Like, can we just? You don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, oh fuck, dude. Like, and it kills me. Yeah. Because it's that you're mightier than thou, and who do you think you are? And you did liberal bullshit. Yeah. And again, right there, I'm liberal bullshit because I just don't get it from conservative people. Yeah. And now I'm sure conservatives are like that, but it's like some of the stuff that I'm having to go through. I'm like, can we stop with that? Like, dude, really, I'm trying to help you.
I don't know.
you're ignorant. You don't know with this situation. I'm not getting into the particulars, obviously. Right. You don't know. Let me explain it to you. I'll teach you, and then go away for a little bit and come back and give me your side again.
Yeah.
And then if, that's just a bunch of crap. We're just going to have to do it this way, and you have to agree to disagree. No.
Yeah.
Not if your shit's illogical and based in ignorance. Can't do it.
Well, at some point, I don't know. Sometimes you just gotta. You're just banging your head against the wall at some point and be like, well, you're just not listening anyway. So I'm just gonna move. I'm gonna move along with my life instead of playing. But some people love really getting into it, like on Twitter.
Oh, Twitter's the worst on that.
They get. I've watched seen some of that. I'm like, why are you wasting all your energy on this? Like you're just. Yeah. What are you doing? Like,
they expanded the number of characters now. I'm like, you idiots, dude, put that back.
How does that work? Is that like so? Because I'll get on Twitter and look at some stuff, but I just post some stuff
before you could put one chopped up complete sentence.
Right.
Now you can kind of do.
But does everybody get to do that, or is it limited?
No, everybody.
Everybody gets to do that.
So it's like you get about twice the characters, so you're not writing a paragraph.
Twitter might be jumping the shark. Because I think what made Twitter great was that those people who are really witty and very short, concise terms, and they could put something out there that was really good.
I think why they did it, this is my opinion, is to give room for the hashtags.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because now you've got to hashtag everything to be able to locate and find and all that.
Yeah,
that's what I think. So you get your concise statement with your hashtags.
How weird was that? Hashtags are a major
kids nowadays,
way of researching.
Like, looking on Coy's baseball thing.
Yeah.
A little girl walks by. She's like, #15, #1, #5. Like, what are those hashtags? I'm like, no, that's their jersey numbers. So it's getting, like they're so conditioned that it's
just so funny.
What is #15 for?
Number 15.
Wait, what?
It's a number.
Oh, did you see the thing, the Me Too?
The hashtag Me Too?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the memes, but there's some funny.
Well, because hashtag ultimately means
pound.
Pound
Me Too. Yeah, I saw that one.
I thought that was hilarious.
I thought that was fantastic. I did see that, and I started telling everybody I knew, every female person I knew, I was like, hey, you know what hashtag Me Too? Yeah. I had to put
they all know of it.
They laughed. They're like,
that's funny.
Because the hashtag Me Too thing went from something that was actually kind of serious.
Yeah.
And it just got expanded into like anybody who's ever in any way like a man looked at him weird and hashtag Me Too. It's like it's like I think we're in this weird point. We're a really weird society right now, but like where we celebrate victimhood, and so if you're a victim, then you're a champion or something. So everybody wants to be a victim now. And it's like weird. So I was like, well, I think that was like one little example of everybody grabbing onto a chance to be a victim.
Yeah, it is still because
it's still happening.
But that and the What If was the other one.
Yeah, but that's unfortunate because there was actually it kind of started with that Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah,
I think I'm saying his name right. That was that everybody knew that was happening in Hollywood for as long as Hollywood's existed.
It got exposed in an ugly way.
It did. But the question I always had was, well, what about the actresses who always knew this was going on and didn't say anything or use it to their financial benefit, professional benefit? But now you want to come out and act like you're a champion? I don't know. Like I don't know how I feel about that.
It's so hard because this is why it's hard to have that discussion. Is because there's a real ugly discussion to be had about it, and then there's the sensitive discussion to be had about it.
Yeah.
The real hard ugly discussion is I've never heard one story. And they may be out there.
Yeah.
As far as let's take Weinstein. I never heard a story about him drugging somebody. I never heard a story about rape.
Cosby.
I never heard a story about forcing. I never heard any of these stories about
it was just
these deals. He was basically like, I will give you this part or this contract or this money if you do this sexual act, fill in the blank with me. And then they say yes.
Yes.
And they consent to it.
Yes.
And they do it.
Yes.
That's prostitution.
Well, here's the thing. The casting couch. Like, how long has the term casting couch been around?
As long as I can remember.
Right? This is not new.
Right.
And it's gross.
It's disgusting. It's vile. It's gross. Right.
But let's not act like it's a surprise.
Right.
I don't know how many producers and directors are still shaking in their boots waiting for their name to get brought up into the Me Too thing. I know that it kind of went so far that they were like, Ben Affleck did this. He grabbed my butt at a party. I'm like, were you complaining then? It was. Yeah, I'm sorry to sound sexist, but now all of a sudden you see all these girls getting attention and their careers getting attention with #MeToo. Come on, I'm just saying. Like it's not. I'm not saying it's okay to grab a girl's butt. Oh, that one was crazy. But they said he said something a little bit creepy.
I heard, but I don't know what the quote was.
I cannot remember, but I remember thinking, oh, that is a little creepy, though. And I just can't. But when you guys get old, and I mean, maybe just take advantage of being old. Right, I don't think he's lost weight. I think he was.
He's certainly not a threat to do anything wrong.
I mean, it's not like he's going to, hold him down.
Right.
But I think as you get older, I've seen it, you start to lose a little bit of inhibitions. You're like, what are they going to do?
People get a little loose-lipped as they get older.
I mean, he's getting a couple pinches in there. Oh, he's an old man. Like, I don't know.
I'm not saying it's okay.
I'm not excusing it.
Whatever.
But he did say, I wish I could remember what he said. Because I remember I thought, these girls are just misinterpreting whatever's happening. But then when they added multiple girls said, yeah, but he said this. I was like, oh.
Yeah, and
it's a little more.
I got to go look at the quotes.
Yeah, it was a little creepy.
But so that's my deal. So I'm like, okay, look, casting couch has always existed.
Yes.
You're an actor, actress, whatever, and a producer, executor comes to you and is basically like, you can have a career, you can have a lucrative career if you do this sexual act.
I mean,
that's wrong and that's vile.
It's disgusting, but it's you can say no.
You can say no, and there's plenty of jobs in America to go around.
I know, I understand. There was huge pressures, and it's not okay.
And you just want to make it, and it's your dream. Well, what are you willing to pay or give up or sacrifice for your dream?
If you say no and you just keep pushing, maybe it happens for you. Like, I don't know. I'm not a female. I've not been put in those positions. I understand. I do not know the dynamics of what it's like to be a female in that kind of environment. I can't know. It's pretty much impossible for me to know, unless I'm in a prison environment where, that short of some weird circumstance, I'm not in a position the way a female is in a position.
Right.
But the pressures they experience. But I don't know. I think that my part was I felt like it was hypocritical the way it started coming out. Like, I felt like a lot of these women, if you knew that was happening, you were in positions of power many years ago. You could have started doing something about it back then. Yeah. But so why didn't you? Because there were some very powerful women in Hollywood who were aware of this.
Something that I heard on that. Okay. Yeah. And this was one of 8 bazillion podcasts I've listened to in the last year on this stuff. But the reason women have such a hard time coming forward is they don't want to look weak because they're in a position of power.
Yeah.
They don't want it to be like, oh, the only reason you got there is because you opened your legs.
Right.
Right? That weakens them and lessens them and delegitimizes them.
Right.
And then they don't want their sex life spread to the world for the next 18 months. Either in a legal form or a social form or me. So they're like, basically, I want to put it behind me.
Yeah.
Is what I heard from someone who experienced this, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want to put it behind me. It really sucked. It was I made the choice. I have to live with the demons of the choices I made. I could have said no, but I wouldn't be a multimillionaire actress running my own production company now.
And sex for women is way different than sex for men.
Yes. Way different.
The way society looks at men and women and how they and their sexual activity is completely different. Yeah. So a man gets conquest, right? Oh, that dude, like Dan Bilzerian. I mean, look at him. Whatever. That's just a moron, by the way. But but if you take a female, similar situation, they're like, what a whore. Like, look at this chick. She's a whore.
Yeah.
And so I get that. That's what I mean when I say, like, I'm not a woman. I'm not in that position. So, it's different. But at the same time, if you really felt violated by the situation.
Gotta get it.
Other young girls are coming up. Why aren't you doing something to prevent that? So that they're not put in that same position.
That's where I go into it. Woman A makes the decision to do sexual act with producer B, gets the role, gets into power, is beyond it.
Yeah.
You got to stop it, dude.
Yeah.
If you don't, to me, you're liable for everyone else that he does that to from that point.
And let's be fair, and men knew too.
Yeah,
Other men, there's no way that he wasn't bragging to
double
all
standard.
his buddies.
Yeah.
Oh, 100% he was bragging. Other men knew. Look, all of Hollywood is culpable in that.
Yeah.
A big chunk of Hollywood, men and women, are culpable. And they allowed that to happen. I'm sure it's still happening.
Of course it is.
There's no way that's gone away. Because it's just not. And I don't know that it'll go. Maybe it'll get modified, but
I don't know. I don't know. It's
maybe
not going anywhere.
You're probably right.
Yeah, it's
because that's a
most look. And let's just be honest. Most techie people, writers, directors, saying most are not the most attractive people in the world.
Yeah.
They're people that have been put off. They're off in their self. They've reclused out. They watch movies their whole life. They eat boatloads of popcorn and drink soda hot.
So now's your chance.
And so now they're there.
Yeah.
I'm a successful multimillionaire.
Finally.
Yeah.
It's my turn.
Directing this. I'm getting mine now.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And that's
unfortunate.
It's an
not all of them. I'm sure.
No, not all of them. No.
But you're right. There's that element, and there's also that element of when a man has power.
Yes.
Or a person in that manner. But I think men are, because they're different than women.
Yeah.
And sex is a big part of men having power.
Yeah.
And I think there's something about that for some men when they have that power, they want to exercise it sexually. The fact that they have sexual power over a woman, they're going to abuse that.
It increases the sexual fulfillment of dominance.
Right. Not for this guy, but I'm sure for some of those guys that's there. And I think that would come back to people, maybe how they've lived their life. Maybe they've been repressed and kicked and not treated right all the way through there.
Yeah.
And so now they're in a position to exercise power over other people that they've never had. And sex is one way that they exercise that power. I'm sure they exercise that power horribly in other ways.
Yeah.
It just doesn't involve sex. So you just say, he's just an asshole. But 100%. I kind of agree with you on that. I think that's a good point. Hashtag pound me. I mean, me too. Whatever. I don't know. Hashtag pound me too.
Get it? I'm like, man. Dude, so Mother's Day was yesterday.
Yes.
So a family member, not the one I was discussing about earlier, throw people under the bus, messages me, and I get a bunch of messages. He's like, dude, you survived Mother's Day. I barely did. He's like, I'm so sick of this over-commercialized crap. I'm paraphrasing, right? But to make things quicker. And so I'm like, ha ha ha, like I get it, like I don't really buy into it too much. I mean, obviously, we went and had breakfast and did some things, but nothing crazy over the top and all this kind of stuff. But so the reason I bring it up is that one, I thought that was funny because he's a good dude, loves the hell out of his wife, and all that. But he's like, isn't 365 better than one? Like like that, basically that type of tone to it. You know what I'm saying? Like at 365, come on, man. Like all year, birthdays and anniversaries, and Mother's Day and Valentine's Day and this day and that. Like, can we just stop it? Like that's kind of his mentality. And it's and I don't want people to think I'm not being sensitive.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Mother's Day, cool. Go and have a special meal. Draw some pictures. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like do a little something like that. You show it from the kids, whatever the kids can do to show mom. Not what dad can do to show mom, and vice versa on Father's Day.
Yeah,
what the kid. Yes, I think it's awesome. Don't go spend Valentine's Day. Get a card.
It's out of hand. It's out of hand. It's out of hand. It's getting more and more expensive every year too, and
that prom boys taking girls to prom, having to buy them jewelry and.
They're buying them jewelry now.
Prom.
Like when I did it, we bought I don't even know what it's called, but they put it around their wrist.
The flower thing.
Yeah.
That
was like a big deal. Like you had to go get what specially one made. Yeah. It was like a big deal, but I didn't pay for it.
But other than
my parents paid for it, but
right. Other than that, you could like dinner,
Well, yeah,
or whatever. But
it was like a date. It was like a date.
Yeah.
But man, that's crazy. They're buying them jewelry now. Yeah, it's the commercialization of our holidays is so out of hand. Like Christmas, and I love Christmas. I really do. Yeah. Like I get excited when we start getting to that time of year. I like Christmas trees.
It feels good. Christmas it smells music. Good.
Yes, it feels great.
Yes.
But Jesus Christ, how much money do I spend every year on Christmas? It's just
way too much.
It's insane. And then we got Valentine's Day coming up. Then we got whatever, name it.
Yeah.
Mother's Day.
the Easter and
Easter's
it just keeps going
there, and I'm like, every time I turn around, I'm like, Jesus, I just recovered from the last one. Yeah, you're right, 100%. No, it's look, that's
ridiculous.
That's the way it is. So honestly, this Mother's Day toned it down a little bit. My brother and I talked about it. We went in on some flowers for the mom. She's very appreciative of the flowers she's got. Wasn't crazy. We split
She's not local, right?
She lives up in West Texas.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So we bought some local flowers there. Had them delivered locally, and we just split the cost. It's very simple, very cost effective. She was very appreciative of them. It's all it really took. It was done effectively. My girl, she's a mom, so I took care of her. We took her to her mom's, and I did the things that women really want. I think I made sure I got up early. I made breakfast. I cleaned all the dishes. I did all the housework. Well, not all the housework, but a lot of the housework that needed to be done. I took care of everything, so she had a day off. Like all she had to do was get up, eat, go over to her mom's house and deal with family for a few hours. They come home. She didn't have to do anything when she got home. That's what and I bought her a little thing or two and some chocolates, kept it simple. Yes. But it was just buying chocolates and some flowers or whatever I got her, still over $50. And I'm like, that's nothing. How is that over $50?
I know.
And that was keeping it easy. I can't imagine what some people spend.
It's insane. And watching, because we went to local breakfast place, down the way. But even watching people coming in after us, went pretty early. Yeah. And I'm like, people like walking like gifts, bags of gifts, and all this kind of stuff. And in their defenses, bigger families, right? But still, I'm like, gift. I'm like, whoa, are you serious? Yeah. And like Steph sent her mom to the salon.
That's nice.
Go manicure and get your toes done, your eyelashes done, or something. They're, like do all that kind of great. Go, fun. Yeah. Like cool. It's still expensive, but
yeah. And everybody kind of raises their prices too about that time. But that's nice though. Like little things are nice, but it's like everything is so over commercialized. It's too much.
It hurts.
It's too much. You got to plan out every month. Like what holidays do I got to pay for this month?
I think we're on the verge of Halloween requiring gifts.
Well, Halloween is so crazy too.
Because I think trick or treating is going to dissipate because of the safety of trick or treating. Right,
we'll just start giving gifts,
and I think it's going to transition to more of like an Easter thing.
Christmas #1. Oh my God,
that's what I feel like. I think we're getting close to that.
Maybe there's some safe communities where you can still do yours.
Yeah, I mean, we do here,
but it is kind of limited. But I don't know. I hope not. I really hope not. Yeah, I think Halloween's still kind of fun, but no. So with Halloween, like adult Halloween, where you have the parties and like I never did this. And actually, because I've been my career as a military, the police officer, I was usually working or someplace on the holidays, including Halloween. I never really enjoyed it. Like I never.
Yeah, you didn't get that opportunity.
No, but now all of a sudden it's like girls already like, hey, what are we gonna dress up for on Halloween? I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I usually work Halloween. Yeah. I gotta go out there and make sure no one's getting robbed or kids getting given razor blades in their candy.
No, yeah.
Now it's gonna be where I'm dressing up and doing something. And so it's gonna. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm kind of looking forward to it, but
I need to. I haven't dressed up in years.
Yeah, man. But you go to these party stores, right? And it's like expensive for these. Like people really go all out. So it's another example of commercialization going crazy. But it's still better than communism.
Yes, it is. No, it's all good. But I was like the whole commercialization. I was
yeah.
I wonder when we're gonna get there. Like I really feel like Halloween. I'm like give it 5-10 years probably, but. I think Halloween's going to get to gift giving, man.
I don't know. Well, like, what are you going to give?
Same thing as Easter. Why would you give presents on Easter?
Do we give presents? I guess, I do.
An egg-laying bunny is going to come through and...
Have a ghoul come through and give you candy?
Right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Ghostbuster Slime's going to come through and give you
I guess they have the church festivals. So...
Right?
I don't know. Well, they do that now where you just have to go to a church and get your safe candy and play games. I don't know. You're probably right. Yeah. They'll come up with a new holiday. It seems like there's always new holidays popping up. It's like now there's like every day is like some type of like it's celebrate your dog day and it's celebrate your girlfriend's day and then
it is.
Have you noticed that?
Didn't you know it's whatever pancake day or donut day?
Facebook make all this stuff up? Is that from Facebook?
I don't know.
Because all of a sudden I never remember all this stuff before.
Well, okay, here's what I think happens. Is local communities will do things like the Lulu's in San Antonio.
Right.
They have the big cinnamon bun. Well, there's a Lulu's day. There's a cinnamon bun day. because of that, and they were on the TV and did all this kind of stuff. It's just a local little thing, and then somebody gets a hold of it and blows it out, and it gets bigger one year and bigger the next year, and it just turns into it all because somebody made a 5-pound cinnamon roll. With
I just know I'll open Facebook and everybody's posting pictures of their pets.
Yeah,
it's National Pet Day. And then I feel pressure, like, oh, God, my dog's going to feel like I don't care about him if I don't post a picture. So I got to post a picture of my dog so he doesn't feel less secure in our relationship.
A week or so ago was National or the Post Your Headshot Day or bullshit.
Really?
Did you remember this?
So we got a selfie day? Oh, yeah, because Joe Rogan, I remember seeing Joe Rogan post one.
He did one.
And my girlfriend said, look at Joe Rogan. I'm like, can we calm down?
You know, anyway. And I think it had to be old or something. There were some rules to it or some bullshit. And I'm like,
headshots?
I'm like, who's got headshots? Come on, man. Like,
yeah, there is. There's something every day. Like, you got to open up Facebook now to find out what we're supposed to think.
Get that mother shit. Dude, so we're time, man.
Awesome, man. That was fun.
No, that was fun. Yeah.
We went off. I don't even think we touched half the stuff.
That's the whole point of the thing, man. But it was
great. It was fun.
I hate that when it's always, like, I don't want it to ever to be like an interview.
Yeah.
Hey, well, blah, blah, blah. Hold on.
In Paris today.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. No, that was fun. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it was good, man. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. I want to go choke some people out.
Do it. Oh, you got it. Hey.
Hopefully not get choked. I got choked. I'm going to try not to get choked out today. That's my goal.
A thumb to the nuts usually helps reduce that a little bit.
Old check.
Hey, that too.
Just a centimeter or inch down, depending on the body type.
Just get down there and get it. So thanks, everybody. Peace. Love it. Thank you, guys.